Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. So guys, Caleb Plant has come out and said he wants $10 million to face Canelo Alvarez, and he feels that would be the right amount of money for him to get put up his IBF title to face Canelo Alvarez. And a lot of people have reacted to that. I've seen a lot of people reacting to Caleb Plant's demand of $10 million and says it's crazy. Say that, he doesn't deserve that kind of money, and Canelo would be crazy to pay him that kind of money. He doesn't deserve it. His highest payday is like $1 million or whatever. People have been coming out with all sorts, but at the end of the day, for me, yeah, he may have not deserved it, but did Billy Joe deserve $8 million? Did Callum Smith deserve what he got? No matter who Canelo fights, those guys are probably going to be getting their biggest payday. So really, you could probably make a claim for nobody that's fought Canelo deserves the kind of money. I know Daniel Jacobs got something in, I think, 8 figures almost. So whoever fights Canelo gets a huge payday. So I wouldn't go as far as saying, well, he doesn't deserve it, because at the end of the day, Caleb Plant has got something that Canelo wants, and that's to become the undisputed and super middleweight champion. So I wouldn't go as far as saying that he doesn't deserve it, because Caleb Plant is in that position where Canelo wants something that he's got, and he is a champion and he should be respected. And basically Caleb Plant is basically saying, I know my worth. I'm not going to take a penny more. I'm not going to take a penny less. Now, Ludabella said it's not crazy for Caleb Plant to ask for $10 million. It's fair, because when you look at what Billy Joe got, right, $8 million, you'd have to say this is a much more meaningful fight for Canelo, because this is where Canelo can be crowned the king of the division, where he's king of the division now, but this is where he can be crowned undisputed, and Canelo's never managed to do that yet, and he really wants to achieve that. So for him to be able to be called undisputed, he needs to beat Caleb Plant, and this is obviously a great opportunity for him to do that, because it's against the guys that people think in the super middleweight division that is a fairly weak division. So Canelo, or for him anyway, like, he's a superior champion out of all of those guys, and he's, he stands out, Canelo, like a sore thumb, really, when you think about it. The other champions, they don't really compare to what Canelo's done in the game. So when you think about it, when you think about what Canelo's done, and the champions in the super middleweight division right now, you have to say that they're quite unproven. Like, Callum Smith was fairly unproven. He had a good win against George Groves. Billy Joe was fairly unproven. He had, Andy Lee, Lemieux, but fairly, like I said, unknown. He didn't have a stellar resume, and neither does Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant obviously had a good win against Usakatsi, but after that, he hasn't really done a lot. And now he'd be jumping in with a pound-for-pound great. He'd be jumping in with probably the best fighter in the world right now. So, to be honest with you, I think it's going to be difficult for Plant. I think it's going to be a very, very difficult, a very, very challenging, taxing fight for him. But, he's going to be paid handsomely. And he deserves to. At the end of the day, I know people say that, he doesn't deserve 10 million. 10 million is too much. What's his highest payday? Well, it doesn't matter. He's got himself into a position where he's got something that Canelo wants. And with the fight, the amount of money that fight will generate, Canelo will be willing to pay him 10 million, or the broadcaster will be willing to pay him 10 million, because that fight's going to generate a huge amount of money. So really, Caleb Plant's not really asking for anything that's unreasonable, because when you look at the money that Billy Joe got, when you look at the money that Callum Smith got, and then you look at the money that even someone like Yildirim got for a fight of this magnitude, and like Yildirim apparently got $3 million, something like that, which is a hell of a lot of money. So for someone like Yildirim, because Yildirim has never, he's never been a world champion. He's not considered a top elite fighter at all. and he got a huge payday. So it just shows you when you're fighting Canelo Alvarez, you're gonna make a few quid. You're gonna make quite a bit of money. So I think Caleb Plant, the fact that the fight is means so much in terms of undisputed and all the belts on the line, all the marbles on the line, even though Canelo holds most of them and Caleb's got one, but nevertheless he still brings value. The fight is massive because of the fact that it's for all the marbles, and Caleb Plant is probably he's in the right place at the right time. He's a good fighter as well, don't get me wrong. By no means, Caleb Plant is a very good fighter, and I mentioned that in a video prior that, you know, I think he's being kind of overlooked right now. I actually think he's a very, very good fighter, but it's just the fact that people think Canelo right now is unbeatable and he's a monster. So not many people are giving Caleb Plant a chance. But like I said, I think Caleb Plant shouldn't be overlooked. Caleb Plant's a really, really good fighter. I rate Caleb Plant. Would he be getting this kind of money anywhere else? No, absolutely not. Ludabella pointed that out, that would Caleb Plant get, you know, he wouldn't get this kind of money. Of course he wouldn't. He couldn't fight. That's why he's waiting for the Canelo fight. A lot of people saying, oh, he's not going to take the Canelo fight, he's going to duck him in. You know, he will take the Canelo fight 100%, because, and he'd be pushing for it, because he knows, right, the other guys that like Benavidez aren't going to pay him anywhere near the amount of money that Canelo Alvarez is going to pay him. And to be honest with you, there's a great chance he loses some of those other big fights as well. If Caleb Plant fought Billy Joe Saunders, he wouldn't get the kind of money that he's going to get fighting Canelo. And he could lose to Saunders, he could lose to Callum Smith, he could lose to David Benavidez. So why not fight a guy that you'd be underdog against, that's probably better than all the names that I mentioned. However, you're going to get a huge payday. You're going to get a huge amount of money. Now, I don't think Caleb Plant and any champion goes in there thinking he's going to lose, thinking that, you know, he's not going to beat Canelo. Caleb Plant 100%, in my opinion, believes he can beat Canelo, because all champions have that kind of mindset. However, he also knows that the fight's a very tough fight, right? It's a very, very tough fight, and he knows that he wants to be compensated for it. That's why when he said, I'm not going to be taking a penny more, I'm not going to take a penny less, like, it's all right what these UK guys got, like, but I know my worth. And basically he's coming out and saying $10 million sounds fair. So he's basically giving Canelo a ballpark. Now, Billy Joe Saunders, for me, $8 million, that was a lot of money, because I'm not sure Billy Joe Saunders has made anywhere near that kind of money in his, you know, in his career before. I don't think it's close. But the fact of the matter is, Billy Joe hyped the fight up, he promoted the fight, and he made the fight a lot bigger than, and he made people believe that he could pull it off, which made the fight bigger. That fight in the end became quite a big fight. You know, by the time that fight came around, a lot of people thought Billy Joe could beat Canelo because of the promotion and the hype, and what Billy Joe did to hype the fight himself made the fight a lot bigger. The fact that they're back and forth made the fight a lot bigger. Caleb Plant is not like that. Caleb Plant's more of a gentleman, in the sense that Caleb Plant's a bit more quietly spoken. He's not the type of guy that's going to try to get under Canelo's skin like a Billy Joe. Or maybe we might see a different side to Plant, who knows. But I don't think so. I think Plant's not that type of guy. He's not going to try to get under Canelo's skin. He's not that type of guy from what I've seen. So I think you're going to have a more you know, a calm and cool and collected kind of approach from Caleb Plant, but a confident one. You know, I've seen some interviews with Caleb Plant, and he's confident he's going to beat Canelo. Whether we think that, it's irrelevant. We're not going to be in the ring with Canelo. It's going to be Caleb Plant going to be in the ring. So as long as he's confident and he believes he can do a job on Canelo, that's all that matters. In terms of the price, 10 million, yeah, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, and when you think about what, you know, Caleb Plant's probably earned his highest payday up until this day, it's going to be like probably 5, maybe 6, 7, maybe 8, 10 times more than what he's got paid before. But the fact of the matter is he's found himself in this position where he can benefit from it financially. And to be honest, all of these guys are looking to secure their financial future. And Caleb Plant, if he gets the kind of money that he's asking for, he would be secure for life. Just like Billy Joe now is secure for life. Just like Callum Smith is now secure for life. So Canelo's kind of giving these guys huge paydays, where after they fight him, they don't need to fight again. They don't need to fight again. Caleb Plant, if he gets $10 million, he won't need to fight again. Why? You know, that's a huge payday. I'm pretty sure he will, because he's young and he's a good fighter. And a loss to Canelo don't mean anything, because Canelo is one of the best out there. But nevertheless, I think the 10 million, to be honest with you, I don't know what you guys think, but I think Caleb Plant's probably right. It probably is fair. Just because of the fact that the magnitude of the fight and the fact that it's for the undisputed, you'd probably say that maybe he rightfully deserves a 10 million. Maybe the fight would be that big, and the fact that people would tune in and the fight would be so big because of the fact that it's Canelo fighting for all the belts, maybe he would warrant that kind of payday. Like I said, Billy Joe Saunders prior to that, although I think he was a bit bigger name, and I think he may have had a bigger purse than what Caleb Plant's had to date, I don't really know, because Al Heyman pays his fighters very well, so we don't know. Caleb Plant might have made a shed load, like he may have made a good amount of money. It's just that we think he hasn't because of his profile. But Al Heyman is known for paying his fighters well and taking care of his fighters, and even overpaying his fighters. So to be honest with you, I think Al Heyman, his fighters generally get paid well, and he's a PBC fighter. So yeah, I think maybe Plant's obviously not made anywhere near $10 million, but you know, he's found himself in a position where he's gonna fight for the undisputed. Canelo really wants to become undisputed, so maybe Canelo's willing to pay him that in order to achieve his goal, achieve his dream. So leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think about Caleb Plant wanting 10 million, or thinking 10 million's fair. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I will see you all in the next video. Peace.